job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement.
Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh my God! Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing the bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's the swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle with the jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. Come on.
It's not productive. It's kind of
Snowing
gross
and
and
blowing the bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Say it again. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. What a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time. It's the swell time. Go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in the jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell Rock.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Hey, that was great. Can we do it one more time, guys?
Here we go, we're rolling.
What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in the jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle, jingle, jingle bell rock.
What a bright time.
Jingle, jingle bell rock.
It's the right time.
Jingle bell rock.
it's not
Sing it, come on
productive.
now.
It's kind of gross and icky. And I feel like it tells us more than the people that are trying to read their
Jingle bell
grace.
It's a swell time.
And welcome, everyone. Let's do a sound check. Make sure you hear me. All right. So welcome in. Hey, Wednesday, December 24th, 2025. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you guys are having a good day. I did, and I am planning on tomorrow being even better. And I want to say hello to everybody and welcome on in. Thank you for all the greetings here. So glad to see everybody. Snoop Sleuth. Maybe we should do a greeting, okay? Let's see. We have Caroline, Rebecca Ann, Heather Brown. Elizabeth Jones, Chris Topher, Deb731. Who's Your Daddy? Dark Arts by Adrian. We got Elizabeth Park. Oh Hey Christina, Fur Baby Daddy. Asha Harry, Mandy Boo, Swade Smith, Paula Fitzhenry, Barbara Borman, Amy G 3060. Fur Baby Daddy, Who's Your Daddy? A bunch of daddies here. We got Elizabeth Jones. Did I say that yet? Four pit bulls across America. What's up? Amy G. Goddess. Lita Joe. That's Carol. What else we have in here? Caden Kristen. It's a New Day. Sweet Dude Shibby. Arthur Clermont. Miss Pie Crust. I wish I had some pie. Come on, Miss Pie Crust. Court of Public Opinion. Howdy, sir. Gretchen. We got Critter Mama. Snoop Sleuth. I think I said hi already. Quadaxel Mimi. All right. Heavy Metal Rehab. What's up, sweetheart? Okay, we got Pinky in the Brain. Hello, Pinky. All right, we got who else have I missed? Miss Pie Crust bringing the pies. All right. So great to see everyone and welcome in. I'm just here to visit with you for a little while and probably won't see you till after the new year. So I'm glad to be here and we'll just have a little chat tonight. But hopefully everyone is making your preparations for tomorrow, including all of your cooking, your baking, your wrapping of gifts, and you're spending time with the family, making phone calls. Please call your loved ones. I spent most of the day, the first half of the day, on the phone, saying hello to my loved ones, and hopefully you did the same or will. Um, and I spent all day trying to make it perfect for little Prof today and tomorrow. So we had a very uh, focused day today on focusing on little Prof and bringing him around and to do fun stuff. And yeah, he's very excited. And what else? And so you guys, I wish that you could smell this house right now. Absolutely unbelievable. Uh, I treated myself to my absolute most favorite brownies. So what we did a couple hours, about an hour before I jumped on here, about an hour ago, we got out that brownie mix and we got out the glass Pyrex and the spoon and all the butter and coconut oil and everything. And we made brownies and I just pulled them out of the oven right before we came on. So the house smells of coffee because I just downed one and amazing Giardelli brownies, my favorite box. So oh, you should smell this house right now. It smells like lavender air freshener. I like the Glade and brownies and coffee. So it's my absolute most favorite holiday smell in here right now. So I'm trying to soak it up while I can. Now, I'm a very like a smell oriented person. You know how smell is, right? It triggers memories, uh, even long time memories. So anyway, we're over here bathing in the smell of freshly baked brownies and freshly brewed coffee, and lavender in the background. And little Prof had his bath time early to get all snug and warm. And guess what he's watching in the next room? Home Alone. I think he's on Home Alone 2 tonight. His absolute favorite movie for the holidays. So that's what we're doing here. And hopefully all of you are doing something similar. And, I got my inspiration here in the background. It keeps me in the holiday spirit. And I hope you enjoyed the thumbnail because I had a great time making the thumbnail earlier, throwing that together. That was pretty fun. Should I show it for those of you who don't? Let's see if I can pull it up on the screen. Let's see. Image. Where is it? Maybe it's here. I don't know. Downloads. Oh yeah, here's the thumbnail. All of my favorite things in one thumbnail. Yeah. Hopefully you like that. So yeah. Wow. So what else? What else? So I wanted to come on and talk tonight about just the regular stuff. Oh, and by the way, please share this now because maybe some people didn't get the notification or whatever, but share it. Maybe some people need to hear this. Uh, humorous prof? No, I don't think so. Yeah, you like to keep some details to myself, Mr. Pitts. All right. What's up? Who's there? I don't know who that is. Let's see. See if I can figure it out. All right. um. So yeah, you hope I would wear the hat. Yeah, I wish I had one. Because if I would have thought today, I would have went and bought one. But I did a, sneaky. Okay, you guys, I got to hip you to the secret for single parents, right? You gotta utilize the pickup orders to keep everything under wraps, so to speak. Make your online orders. Uh, go do a sneaky pickup where no one can see what you're putting in the basket. And anyhow, that's what we're up to. But look, okay, so it's Christmas, right? It's holidays. It's that time of year when you're filled with warmth and love. You fill your heart back up from I guess the deprivation all year. You try to fill it up at this time of year, and so I kind of wanted to talk about that because, man, I tell you, this is just a never-ending battle here, and so I guess I'll just kind of go off on tangents because I don't have this particular what would I call it? I don't have an outline. I don't have a presentation. I don't have notes. Okay, this is a little chit chat. But I'd really love to be here and chit chatting. Okay, so I'm just gonna riff and go off, and I might have to you know vert divert myself on back to the single thread, but we'll kind of meander here. But I guess the thing that I like to say is, obviously there's a lot of things happening, and so I kind of want to elaborate on some of how I feel about that. And I'm sure I'll be all over the place because I'm in a happy mood. Like I said, it smells wonderful in here, so I'm not necessarily too obsessed with making any single point, but I like to make a bunch of yeah novel points. Kind of sporadically let my brain fire off in all directions. But say okay, it should be apparent to everyone, and if it's not yet, I'm sure you'll catch on by I don't know January, February, March, April, May, or next year. Who knows? Some people are way behind, but those of you who are regular viewers in this space where we operate here, it should be apparent to you that there's a lot of toxicity floating around, especially, I would say, the past 3 weeks. Okay, now take note. Okay, 3 weeks. Okay, so I would say the past 3 weeks or so, it's been especially vile here in the online spaces around this case that we always discuss. And oftentimes when you're caught up in the middle of a hurricane, you can't really tell from what direction it's all coming or where the storm came from. But as I've been looking at it, I say It might have took me a few days to catch up a week. And I said, oh, I get it. I get it. You see, this appellate brief in the case of Richard Allen versus the state of Indiana was just filed at the beginning of the month. Okay. So the beginning of the month here, December 2025, the appellate brief in the case of Richard Allen was filed. And honestly, it was even before that when they asked for the 7-day extension or whatever it was and the extra words. So I might be able to pull that up. I don't know. I didn't really intend to do this. We're on the fly. Okay. We're operating on the fly. Let's see. So back to this. Let's see. Remove that. Okay. Whoa. Okay. You see this? December 1st. Like I said, 3 weeks ago. December 1st, the appellate attorneys asked for permission to file an oversized brief. Okay. And remember, when I displayed this to you, I highlighted the aspects that there were at least 10 possible issues for appeal, okay, including the right to present defense, impeachment of the investigation, the reliability of the statements made in Westville, the constitutionality of the statements, the analysis of evidence that was proffered but excluded by the judge, which means the judge made mistakes. Okay, and this all this stuff, right? December 1st. Okay. Including the revelation that there's a lot of information, including an entire case that's 10 times the size of a normal, 10 times the size of a normal homicide case. 10x. Okay, that's an exponential. It's not twice as big. It's not 5 times as big. It's 10 times as big. And I think that here on December 1st, when all of those things were revealed, a lot of people got a little nervous. Okay. Made them a little antsy. Okay. And then shortly thereafter, the appellate brief dropped, which was more like 2 weeks ago. Okay, so you see 2 weeks ago, the appellate brief drops in the case of Richard Allen. And, we all went through that in the last live stream I did on Friday. We went through this appellate brief pretty exhaustively. It took nearly 4 hours. And I guess what I'm getting at, as I mentioned, the extreme amount of chaos or of noise, of toxicity and everything that's flying around in the past 3 weeks, it's my hypothesis that it's the direct consequence of this appellate filing now. And as is always the case with these evildoers who are running around social media on this case, and like I said in the last show, you have no idea of how many people are operating on social media to control the narrative around this case. And it's my opinion that half of them work for law enforcement and the other half were brought in to sabotage the defense and keep the public narrative between the rails. Okay? So you've got what I assume to be 35 to 50 narrative controllers here in these online spaces, solely intent on misguiding you, on steering you away from the really pertinent conversations, and on injecting a bunch of misinformation and disinformation to keep the volume of information absolutely overwhelming so that the signal to noise ratio is horrendous. In other words, so that instead of the clear signal at what we should be looking at and focusing on, which is what we've always looked at and focused on, the public is overwhelmed with an extreme amount of noise, which makes it almost impossible to see through. Okay, so you've got all of these people in this space whose sole purpose it is to do that, both on the side of the prosecution or law enforcement, where they are the more obvious bloodluster criminal element, who I call the troll farm for the most part. You know, the troll farm. We'll get to them later. And on the other side, or I don't know if I point this way, you know, troll farm. And on the other side, you have your defense PR team, who is not working on behalf of the defense, but wearing the mask of defense and Richard Allen advocates in order to keep the narrative from the defense perspective absolutely convoluted to keep us off track. Okay, you see what I mean? So collectively, you have a large amount of people in this space creating a lot of chaos, both rhetorically and literally. So in your mind, where the cognitive dissonance pops in is that you look at the online spaces and you see literal chaos, and it tends to make you want to disengage. Okay. And then rhetorically, you, in discussing the narrative and considering points that need to be considered, there is this rhetorical level of distraction or chaos that keeps your cognitive dissonance there. Okay, that's what dissonance is. It's the opposite of consonance, you know. And anyway, what it's apparent to me that this entire freak out in the past couple months really is solely the result of the impending filing of the appeal or the appellate brief, and subsequent in the past 3 weeks of the appellate disclosures. So here we are, which is my point. Here we are, right? Stuck in the middle with you. Here we are. And it's just so interesting because I look all around and you got, like I mentioned, you got the troll farm over here that are just creating absolute chaos. You know, they're now going to the level of lawfare, you know, which we'll be talking about in the future. But there have now been efforts made to engage in lawfare with us. Okay. And then, as I mentioned, you have your alleged defense PR team who is going nuts with distractions right now. Remember, this is sleight of hand. So right now, there's all this sleight of hand on the part of the defense PR team who don't work for the defense, but they do, but they don't. So you might notice that Bob Motta is just going off the rails, right? Bob Motta is just pushing this right now. And then the others who need not be mentioned. This entire PR team who have sabotaged the defense, they're thoroughly going down this track of, or this path of distraction, because the distraction enables the sleight of hand, right? This is the sleight of hand. Okay, you get what I mean? So, in other words, when they're giving you all of these distracting tidbits that are not really relevant to the things that matter in this case, It's to keep you focusing on things that don't really matter. And so, as I mentioned, when I'm looking all around on all sides, this is what we're seeing. Okay. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing absolute chaos on all levels. So, like I said, literal, you know, uh, for instance, in the prosecution shilling folks, you have just absolute chaos on that side among themselves, and then hurling it this way. Okay. And then if you look on this other side, um, you have just all of this distraction being thrown out like confetti by the so-called cranks. Okay. So no matter which side you look at, it's a bunch of you're being showered with a bunch of just nothing, but a lot of it. So you're blinded by the it's like being blinded when in a blizzard. Okay, you're driving in the blizzard, and the snow gets so intense and stirred up by the wind that you're just legally, I mean, I'm literally blind. Did I say legally blind? Okay, that deserves, hold on. I did say legally blind, so there I am therefore obligated to therefore obligated to press the button. Okay. Yeah, you're literally blinded by it all. So we have a blizzard of bullshit, if you want to say it that way. um See, I got to say, sometimes I see things in the chat that just blow my mind and I want to go ballistic, but this is not why we're here tonight. So I'm going to ignore the stuff that's angering me right now, but I am taking note because some of you are about to be permanently banned from this channel and blocked and all of that. But I said the other day, you guys better buy a clue. If you're going to be around me, it's time to buy a clue, right? It's time to buy a clue. Buy a clue, okay? If you're pretending you haven't seen all that I've shown, not just in the past 6 months, but in the past 3 years, you don't really belong. You don't really belong. Because it's absolutely infuriating when we've been making these arguments for the longest and throwing up receipts and proof for it all. And people pretend not to see it. They pretend like they don't understand it. And it's time to be better than that. Okay, it's time to be better than that. If you're around here and you're pretending that you don't understand what we've shown, that is completely 100% fact based and based by receipts. If you think that I've thrown up 10,000 receipts in the past 3 years just for my own pleasure, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, so let's get that straight. Listen, and I'm not even going to argue with you. Okay, the troll farm worked for law enforcement, right? And the cranks work for the individuals who are sabotaging the defense and derailing it. And if you can't get it, if you can't buy that clue, I ask that you leave peacefully before I create a bad experience. Okay? Anyhow, so I kind of got sidetracked there. But like I said, I will be getting sidetracked. So I guess we're starting off with that there is this absolute chaos on a literal level that's going down right now. And if you're paying attention to social media, you should be seeing it. You should be seeing it if you're following all the creators. And as I mentioned, there's also this rhetoric that is confusing, misleading, misguided, and distracting. That if you're not picking up on that, there's also a problem there. Okay. But as I mentioned, it's my opinion that all of this is due to this appeal, putting the fear of God in a whole bunch of folks' who are the evildoers in this case, assisting the cover up. Okay? Because look, I've said before, if there's something being covered up in this case, which there is, it must be something worth all of the effort, right? What would be worth all of the effort? What would be worth all of the effort? Would it be worth all the effort if just one of the victim family members did something that was not supposed to be revealed? No, that wouldn't be that. Would it be worth all the effort if it's just a different killer? No, it wouldn't be worth all that. You have to open your mind and wonder and consider what would be worth all of this effort and all this time, all this money. Some people have been employed on this case for 8 years, okay, some for 5 years, and so on and so on. What would be worth all of that when you have dozens of people who are working to keep this buried? Well, let me help you out. It'd be something big. It's not just going to be the murder of 2 kids, right? The Delphi murders of 2 kids. Yeah, that's not worth covering up. Not on this scale. Okay, that wouldn't be worth covering up if it's just like 1 or 2 things that are being hidden, like a family member or a local or some other killer. No, that's not worth covering up. It never happened. Now, just consider for a minute. What if there were some very high-powered individuals, like attorney generals, lieutenant governors, Supreme Court justices, high-powered lawyers, high-powered judges, politicians, sheriffs, very, 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 very extremely wealthy, successful businessmen. What if there were a whole bunch of people of that caliber who were involved in something so evil and so disgusting that should it be exposed, they all go away? You see, that would be worth protecting, wouldn't it? That's for me, that's what would be worth protecting. If it was the case that you had 20, 30, 40, 50 elite members of society who would be at risk of being exposed should a certain door be opened, then it would make sense that you might have 30, 40, 50 people out here ensuring that that door is never opened. Because should that door be opened, those 30, 40, 50 elite members of society, wealthy, high-powered, generationally entrenched individuals becoming exposed certainly would be a problem. And they certainly would have the money and power necessary to set an effort like this underway. And that's what I'd like you all to think about, because it's just, I always say to my friends, this is the result of applying a concept akin to Occam's razor to this scenario. This is the most simple explanation for what we're seeing. The simplest explanation for a group of 30 to 50 individuals operating online to cover up this case would be that it opens the door into something that has the potential to expose some very important people. And those people have the means to keep something like this rolling. Like I said, it's my opinion that this case opens the door into that which should not be opened. Therefore, it requires a Herculean effort to keep that door closed, to keep this truth buried, and to keep the people who are getting near this truth distracted, intimidated, and essentially silenced. And that's what we've seen. And I'm a big believer in the self-made man, in that we create the path that we walk down, okay? So when I look around and I see some of the people caught up in all of this, and I see it eating them up, you know, I see, I guess I see self-sabotage. I see self-destructive behaviors. Kind of like in Ouroboros, I see people coming back and biting their own tail as a result of this. And I feel like I want to appeal to their humanity or their inner genius. And I guess what I would say to those people is think about what you're doing. Is this worth consuming your life, your days, your happiness, your sanity, your peace of mind? Because I truly do wish for the happiness of all, okay? For the health, the abundance, success, and I guess uh, fruitful endeavors for all. And I think, why are we here? Why are we here? Are we here to tear each other and ourselves down? To suffer infinitely? Or are we here to lift each other up and elevate ourselves into a more altruistic, happy, productive and charitable existence. So that others can be touched by our presence and spread that joy. And hey, no one's immune from it, because even I often, constantly, always struggle to have that glimmer of hope and light in my eyes. Because often this is a consuming fire, and I come here and I sit here, and often when I sit here, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling that joy and vibrancy. I'm feeling exhaustion, resentment, mm, defeated by the enormity of this task and by the vile and vicious uh, energies and rhetoric that goes on. And is that really the spirit of Christmas here? Is that really the thing we're going for here? Often I reflect upon why I remained a teacher over the years. Okay. And every time I talk to people about it, because some people say, oh no, I could never be a teacher. Kids drive me crazy and da 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 da. And the people go on and on with things they say. And I think, wow, that's interesting because, you know, when I reflect back on my history in the workplace, it was never the kids who bothered me. It was always the adults dealing with toxic adults. Because inevitably, when you spend a lifetime around children, what you understand is that children have this inherently. They have this sparkle in their eye. They have this joy for the moment. The ecstatic, uh, happy energy in being alive, experiencing the day, and enjoying the presence of others and the rhythm of life. And that's what we all should do because the best who make it to 80, 90, 100 years, the 100-year-olds that I've known who were phenomenal and active all had that spark. I didn't really know many, I haven't really known any very, very elderly, meaning above 85 or 90. I haven't known any elderly of that age who didn't have that spark. It's almost as if the bitter ones die earlier, you know? But the ones who I've known who have had extreme longevity, they had that childlike nature, that joy of life, that innocence and sparkle in their eyes. And that's what we all should be embodying. And for me, those of you in this community who are caught up in this vicious cycle of hate and toxicity, I want you to think about that. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Does it bring you joy to cause pain to others? To be screaming and yelling and saying hateful things and lying, defaming, smearing, obsession, the obsession. There are people here who I have not interacted with in 3 years who still every day, all day, obsess over me and their hate for me. And I think, wow, 2.5 years later, and you're still going? That's obsession. And I guess what I mean is everybody's not on the state payroll, right? Everybody's not on the payroll. There's a few in the center. The central core is on the state payroll. And all of the orbiters get caught up in it. So I'm appealing to those orbiters. You're not on a payroll. There are so many of you who ain't making nothing off of this. But you're paying a huge price for your endeavors in it. You're caught up as an orbiter in a cycle where this has consumed you, and day in and day out, you inhale and exhale toxicity. And this has consumed you. And I look at those who were in that modality and stepped away. So I look at those who, whether it's 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, or 2 years ago, those who walked away and who are better for it, who are happier, who are healthier, who are better people. They're better for their loved ones. They're better for themselves. They look better. They live better. They're happier. They've extended their lives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I look at that and I say, you know what? Kudos. Kudos. Congratulations. That's quite an achievement. That's a heroic task to walk away from that which was not behooving of you, from that which was not good for you. You chose to walk away and you're better for it. And like I said, you're better for others. Because when you're not in a good place, you're not in a good place for others. When you're hard on yourself, you're hard on others. When you obsess, you're less present for others. When you're hateful, you're less loving to others. And some of you need to put the phone down and never come back. And that's just the way it is. It takes a special type to handle the chaos or the cognitive dissonance. And so there's that old biblical saying, love your enemies. And this is my love. This is my message of love for Christmas here. Because you're not my enemies. You just see yourself as enemies. And as brothers and sisters, I love you enough to say, walk away. Put it down and walk away. And there are many of us who will stay here. There are many of us who will. And hell, you don't know when I'm going to walk away, you know? But while I'm able to, I will be here. And if I ever am not and I walk away, many of you will be here. There will be many here to carry the torch forward and the light of truth forward. Because the truth is, you can't care for others if you don't take care of yourself. Everyone knows that. Remember the analogy to the flight attendant's speech where they say, should anything occur, you put that oxygen mask on yourself first, then you help out the ones next to you. It's been absolutely heartbreaking to see people around me let this consume them. You know, there are people I care about immensely who I've literally watched get consumed by this. And that's no good. I wouldn't wish that on an enemy, much less people I care about. I think we finally gotten to a point of no return with this, so that the urgency is not there. You know what I'm saying? So things will be okay. For those of you who need the peace of mind and you need to walk away, it's okay. This will go forward without you. It's much more important that you be okay for your loved ones and for your future. Because this has all reached a point where it's going to carry forward. A lot of people have paid heavy prices to ensure that. So have faith. It was not for nothing. You know, a lot of the suffering of the hours and hours and the burden that's been carried collectively by many people, the price has been paid. So I'd much rather see everyone go live their lives in happiness. Because the obsession, the self-consumption, the devolution, the addiction, I think a lot of people have been harmed and have harmed themselves with this case. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I mean, let's look at it realistically. We already have lives that have been lost over this case. Now, does that make sense? Don't you think that those loved ones who were left behind would rather have those who have passed away and lost their lives over this case rather than their efforts in Delphi? I mean, let's take a poll, right? Would the loved ones of those who we've lost in this community, Would those loved ones rather have their loved ones still here, or have the results of their involvement in the Delphi case? Well, that should be an easy answer. They'd rather have their loved ones still here. And there's so many who would still be here if it were not for being consumed by this case or victimized by this case. And that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. It's the bitter truth. It's the hard truth, but it's the truth of truth. The best gift that you could give to others is yourself or your time, you know, your time. And you got to think of that. Are you going to give your time all to obsession over this case or the inner battles that are going on in this the social aspect of this case? Or are you going to give yourself to the ones who love you dearly in your life, in your real life? Those who know you in your real life. What kind of treats are you going to give yourself? Bike rides, vacations, laughter, dancing, dinners, fun times, or scrolling and obsessing over screenshots in this case? It's very important to think about. I've seen a lot of things that have broken my heart, but this is how the world works, right? As we grow older, the grief piles on because there's more and more saudade, more and more bittersweet, more and more loss. And you look at the losses and you grieve for what was lost. And so I don't want people to experience more loss. It's really painful to see lives ruined over this case because, as I've said many times to my close friends, none of us are going to bring back Abby and Libby. Who can bring back Abby and Libby? Nobody. But we can spread the love that they would have wanted us to have with the loved ones in our lives. That would be how you would carry that forward. So that's my Christmas wish for you. When I look at my own life and I look at my son and I say, that's the center of the world for me. That's the most important thing to me in the world, the most precious gift. And I ask you to look at your children and grandchildren and friends. And don't forget, they are the most important things in the world to you, the center of your world. They are what makes life worth living. Not this. And so that's my Christmas message to you. Meditate on it. Take some time. Think about it. And like I said, this will be here and this will carry forward. It's too much is known now. Hey, I wish my mods, someone would post a GoFundMe and my support pathways and my Substack because I want to offer that I would love to have anyone new here, uh, anyone interested. Okay, please go check out all the stuff in my about me or in the link tree, uh, like my Substack, like my support pathways, and the GoFundMe that I have going right now to try to sustain me in coming on and doing live shows as often as possible. Um, and we will try to put them in the in the comment section after this is over, so that on the replay, anybody who watches the replay, hey, Merry Christmas, and please support the Prof. And I would really appreciate that. Spread the love, and also share the message because this is what we need. Okay, if we're going to be here in these spaces, this is how we need to be with each other. We need to be a family, right? We need to be a family who focuses on each other and on love and on the good things. Not this fake hippie shit, not namaste and then act like evil wenches, okay? Not like I'm all about karma and the divine feminine and masculine, but then acting like absolute fucking toxic maniacs. We need to be really real, here for each other, focused on what's important, acknowledging the joy and beauty in life, and not feeding in to this machine which keeps us at each other's throats and worried about things that we cannot change, because we could solely focus on that which we can change and what we can bring to the table and the energies that we exude externally. Remember, there's involution and there's evolution. So we can be involuted with all this negativity and toxicity, or we can emit the high vibrations of love and the joy of life. And that's what we need to be doing for each other. For each other. Remember, when you're hard on yourself, you're hard on others. And when you love yourself and you're excited and joyful about that which brings you happiness, you spread it to others. And this is what we're here for each other, if we're going to be a family in this type of environment. We're here to inspire, inform, excite, and elevate each other. And that's all that's welcome here. This is why it's always been such a difficult time with the live chat to not be triggered and yell at people and whatnot, because no one wants that coming into this. No one likes uh, insincere, toxic, downer vibes coming into a community where we're trying to excite and elevate each other and inspire each other to rise a little higher. So please don't take anything personal. If we don't want to hear it, if I don't want to hear it, if I don't trust you, if I don't believe you, if I don't embrace you, it's nothing personal. We're dealing with etheric energies, okay? And we want the highest. So, my suggestion in Delphi, keep your circle small and always think twice. It's a difficult environment. And, but that being said, I must tell you that it is the absolute truth that I am extremely grateful for your time and attention and interaction when it is had, because I could not pay you all to be here and participating and sharing and watching. And and I'm sure many of you feel the same. I truly do appreciate your time, your energy, and I know that so many have been here often. And Four Pits often says that this is the greatest chat on the planet. Well, why do we say that? It's not the greatest chat on the planet. There's all kind of great chats on the planet. But in our own sphere, it is the greatest chat on the planet because it's our chat. And so I guess what I'm saying is I'm grateful for my little niche here in this little channel, the Prof. I'm grateful for our little cubbyhole where we come here and talk and we have gotten to know each other. And I just want to say that before I leave because I truly am. And I don't say it enough, but I think you all know it. And every time I'm considering coming on, I always think about how all of you are out there and happy to have me come on and talk to you and with you. And there's a lot of gratitude for that because if it was not that way, I would not feel compelled to come and talk to you and with you. So that's the fuel that keeps me going is knowing my friends are here. So I do appreciate you. And anyway, I think that about wraps up my little Christmas greeting. And I'm not going to keep you long because hey, you got families and I got my little family here. And so what we're going to do is prepare for the night before Christmas. We're going to prepare for the night before Christmas and we'll have our Christmas morning. And it's just been great. And I made really great friends here. Surprisingly. And surprisingly, it wasn't the ones who swarmed me at first and tried to smother me and get control and get them claws in me to keep my speech in line. But it's those who, after all the detritus has fallen off, remain and who've come around since. And I do appreciate you all. All right. So that's what I had to say tonight. So uh, got my Christmas wish, and hopefully you get yours. And anyway, as I mentioned, I don't know. We're close to the new year, so I don't know if I'll see you before New Year or after, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, if you're on the replay, please check out the links that we're going to put and leave some comments, because if you happen to miss the live chat, I'm sorry. Love to have you here on the live chat, so catch me next time. Um, and hey, God bless Libby and Abby, and God bless Jesus Christ. The reason for the season. Anyhow, I want to thank everyone who's here, anyone who supported the channel with comments, with the live chat, or donations, or there were some people that went over to the GoFundMe, and some people sent me very nice emails. So please, if you don't got money, it's fine. Send me some emails. I appreciate all the reaching out, is what I'm saying. All the moral, emotional, mental, and all support. I truly appreciate, because literally the email is the best thing ever. I get the most amazing emails all the time, and it's very nice. But guys, like I said, the smell of brownies is overwhelming. So, like I said, we pulled them out of the oven right before I came on an hour ago. So they should be cooled off now. And the house just smells of freshly baked brownies. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go enjoy the rest of Home Alone and a bunch of brownies and hot chocolate. So go fix some hot chocolate, eat some snacks, and make sure Santa comes tonight. And Mrs. Claus too. And have a Merry Christmas, okay? And those of you who are watching on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas. Hug your kids, hug your wife. Let's see if I can find the little thing I'm looking for. Where is it?
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because they're raping everybody out here.
Bruh.
Happy Delphi Day. Anyway, I appreciate that. And hey, I'll see y'all later, right? Good night.
Prof is a fucking terrorist, a fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky. And I feel like it tells us more about them than the people they're trying to degrade. They're always trying to degrade someone.
It was our job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Oh my God!
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky.
Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing and bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's the swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle with the jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. Come on. Snowing and blowing the bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Say it again. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's the swell time. Go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the Jingle Bell Rock. was great. Can we do it one more time, guys?
Here we go, we're rolling.
What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock. Jingle, jingle, jingle bell rock. What a bright time. Jingle, jingle bell rock. It's the right time. Jingle, jingle bell rock. Sing it again now. Jingle, jingle, jingle bell rock. Come on now. Jingle, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell time. Jingle, jingle bell rock. Yes, it's swell.
As an expert at being Mickey Mouse, yeah, I can say seriously, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Rick. This is some Mickey Mouse bullshit. Thanks, Mickey. Hey, how's Donald? He's still on the stuff. Yeah.
Bruh.